Broadcasting live from the Business RadioX studios in Oahu, Hawaii, it's time for Oahu Business Radio. Now, here's your host.
Lee Cantor here, another episode of Oahu Business Radio, and this is going to be a fun one. But before we get started, it's important to recognize our sponsor, Facility AXS. Without them, we could not be sharing these important stories. Today on Oahu Business Radio, we have Charlie Teixeira with Route 99 Hawaii. Welcome, Charlie.
Thanks so much for having me, Lee.
Well, I'm excited to learn what you're up to. Tell us a little bit about Route 99 Hawaii. How are you serving folks?
Well, Route 99 Hawaii, which actually a lot of people, even people who grew up in Hawaii, don't know, is Kamehameha Highway. And it's the portion Route 99 Hawaii that takes you from Honolulu town up to the North Shore. And that's where we live and work. And that's where our lifestyle brand, Route 99 Hawaii, started. It's primarily a lot of Hawaii-inspired designs that we embroider out of our home shop onto hats and other apparel like T-shirts and hoodies.
So what was the catalyst behind this creation of a lifestyle brand like this? The
creation was my husband is Brazilian, hence the last name Teixeira, and he did embroidery work in Brazil. And when he moved to the North Shore in 2008, he brought his business here, and I met him in 2010. And we had the opportunity to start at the Hale'iwa Farmers Market. Have you been to local farmers markets where you are ever?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's just it's a really amazing environment where you walk through usually aisles like that are outside, and a lot of it's produce. But we had the opportunity to have a tent there. We were embroidering the Hale'iwa Farmers Market logo, but at that point we decided, since we do all of the embroidery work out of our home, let's start something that we can also sell. So we just started with a couple simple designs like the Hawaii Islands on a baseball cap. And our idea was to brand it with Route 99. It's the actual highway symbol, like, your typical highway symbol. It has a 99 on it. And of course, this is kind of a play on words, a nod to the historic Route 66. That,
sure.
You maybe been down from Chicago to California. So it's just a way to brand it, but it's also significant because it's the road that my husband and I traveled up to the North Shore. And I don't know about you or some of our listeners, but sometimes we transition, we go through kind of a new chapter in our life. And both my husband and I were really experiencing some pretty rough patches in our life and different before we met. And when we came up to the North Shore, it was kind of a healing process for us. A lot of people up here were extremely nice. They were compassionate. They helped us out in business. And without the North Shore community, I don't think that we would have transitioned or kind of moved forward into the next chapter so well. And so it kind of dovetails into our brand mission is to share aloha, which means kindness, one of the words it means in Hawaiian, as a tribute to the help and aloha we received when we came up to the North Shore. So our company mission is to share aloha worldwide.
And, that very personal message really comes across in your in the stuff that you're putting the brand on. And did you get right away were people kind of gravitating towards it? Was it something that caught on right away?
Yes. I mean, we got a lot of help from our customers. I think being at a farmer's market is just super cool because you have all these people walking by and naturally they just kind of ask you for things that they may want. So someone will say, I like the Hawaiian Islands, but could you just simply make it blue? And just that simple question was something like, now the Hawaiian Islands in blue on a gray cap is one of our top sellers. So they were responding to our designs, but also giving us a lot of input into our designs, which is just, I think, I would recommend for any actually lifestyle brand, that grassroots direct connection with the consumer, you know?
Well, I think that's great advice for any business owner, is to listen to your customers. I mean, they're trying to help you. And if you listen to them, you never know what's going to come out of that.
Exactly.
So now you're really kind of taking that, sharing aloha, and it's evolved into these acts of aloha. Can you talk a little bit about that campaign?
Sure. This is a campaign that is just so integral to our brand, and it's so personally, it's just so important to me. It started out kind of very simply, where our iteration one of Acts of Aloha would be, I would ask you, for example, Lee, is there someone in your life that you could nominate who shares aloha on a daily basis? So you might think maybe it would be a family member or a friend, or maybe a business that just does a lot of good in the world. And so we collected 99 of these nominations, mostly in Hawaii, but about maybe a dozen were from the mainland. And what we did was, for every person or company nominated, we went out and we delivered an award that said Acts of Aloha Award. And we also let them know why they were nominated. And I knew actually from the first day when I handed out these awards that it was more significant than I thought it was going to be, because when actually you were thanking someone on behalf of someone else, the person who was receiving it was just kind of blown away. Like, one of the ones was Laie, which is on the North Shore. This woman collects fresh produce from local farmers, and she just would sell it for like wholesale price to a lot of her neighbors that needed like fresh produce. And so she was nominated by a local chiropractor for sharing aloha in that way. And I remember gifting her, a Route 99 hat and an award, and she was just blown away. And also the person nominating that person, I think feels good to, give thanks to someone else. So that's what happened. We gave 99 of these awards. And then actually one of the award recipients does video work, and she approached me and said, this needs to be something larger, and can we capture some of these nominators and people that were nominated on video? So like iteration 2 was us documenting 10 of these award winners. And so like our first story, we went out to, have you been to Hawaii ever, Lee?
I have not.
Okay, well, you got to come. So hopefully you will make it out here and I can give you a tour around the island. But on the west side of the island, there is this guy named Uncle George, and he has been giving away free stand-up paddleboard lessons because that's what he likes to do. It's a magical place called Pokai Bay, and every Sunday morning, anyone who shows up, he talks to them and then takes them out for stand-up paddleboards. So that was like our first episode where we interviewed him and just what sharing aloha means to him. And so then kind of now we're in our third iteration, which was started during COVID 2020, where I'm actually just reaching out to direct people. Like I would ask you, Lee, during the last year, we've all kind of reacted to the world, what has happened. Was there someone who showed you kindness? Was there someone that maybe just checked up on you or said, how are you doing? Maybe brought you some food if there was something going on in your life. And so I'm in the process of collecting those stories, and I have about 50. My goal is to reach 99, meaning get 99 stories from people. And people are submitting them very it's not a produced thing. They're just recording themselves on their cell phone. It's 1 to 2 minutes thanking, this is someone I'd like to thank in the last year or two for showing me kindness. And that has been really inspirational to hear those stories. And I'm sharing those on my YouTube channel. I say channel, I have like 7 followers, so it's not like a channel yet, but I'm sharing it on YouTube with the hopes that I think that over time, it's something that people will listen to and just be further inspired.
Well, congratulations on all the success with that. I think that that's how change happens. One person at a time, one person celebrating another person and sharing the kindness, and you're giving them the gift of a platform to share it on. So congratulations for doing that. It's an important not only gesture, but an action that's helping other people by appreciating them. And I think that we need more of that in today's world. You know, it's very polarizing for a lot of folks, and there needs to be more people like you that are standing up there, taking action, and helping to tell the good stories that are happening, because that's what is missed. I think every day there's good things happening and bad things happening. And if you only focus on the bad, then I think you get more of that. And I think that if people focus more on the good, this world would be a lot happier and there'd be a lot less stress for a lot more folks.
I agree. I full-heartedly agree.
Now, in terms of growing your business, has that action helped you? I'm sure it's helped you get the brand out there for folks. Are you finding that this activity is helpful in the growing of your business?
I mean, I think indirectly. However, I think it gives me more of a purpose in life than just, selling hats per se. I think that, I'm only looking at your profile photo. I don't know how old you are. I'm not going to presume your age, but I think that, once you enter some kind of middle age between, let's say, 30 and 60, you do, I think, hopefully want more meaning than just, the bottom line. So my meaning in this is that I do think that it is providing good and really trying to inspire like intentional kindness, even if it's just a really small act on a daily basis. And I don't know if anyone has like said to me like, oh, I saw that and then hence I'm going to buy a hat. But I think if our brand is connected to, sharing aloha, I mean, I think that can only be a good thing,
Absolutely. I think that there's a lot of ways to measure success, and money is just one of them. I think that the impact you're having on a lot of people and the ripples that are coming from that are undeniable. So I think from that standpoint, the success is already there.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I feel it, and it, this isn't something that I feel like I'm necessarily preaching for other people. I know, and I mean that in that it has affected me. It's impacted me listening to these stories. And so for example, I've listened to 30 of the videos that people have sent in so far. And one of the kind of through lines that have come out is people really respond, and it's important to people just to, when you receive a simple phone call and a call or a text, more a phone call, just asking how you are. And I don't know about you, Lee. I'm sure that maybe as a talk show or like a radio personality, I don't know if you are an extrovert or an introvert or somewhere in between, but I am more of an introvert, and I don't necessarily, it does not give me a lot of energy to be on the phone. However, because so many people have said that like receiving a phone call has been like one of the most impactful things they've received, I am trying to make more of an effort to express and show kindness that way. Like I know I have other ways that I show it, but you don't just want to do it in a way that's good for you. You want to do it in a way that, is impactful to other people. So that's one way that I feel like it's opened my eyes, for example.
Now, in your kind of growth as an entrepreneur and as a human, what kind of drew you to this kind of this direction of really being socially responsible and really respectful towards the folks around you, was there something that happened in your life that you said, you know what, I prefer this way to lead a business and to live a life rather than where some people get caught up in the rat race and just, making more money or doing whatever they're doing and not really being invested in their community or in their work. They're just kind of going through the motions. What kind of drew you to this, almost a philosophy of doing good to the people around you?
That's a really good question. I don't know if I can directly trace it back to one thing. I would imagine it's a culmination of a bunch of things. However, the first kind of memory that jumped into my mind when you asked the question was I went to high school in Evanston, Illinois, which is just north of Chicago. It's where Northwestern University was. And when I was in high school, I remember walking around. I had a job where I scooped ice cream, and it was a sweet shop. And I would always eat a lot of ice cream and a lot of brownies. And I remember during this time, this was in the late 80s, there were signs around Northwestern that said, "Stop Apartheid." And I remember asking actually one college student, because I had never heard of apartheid, I just asked him, what, I don't even actually, I know I didn't pronounce apartheid right. I just asked him what that was. And he was so passionate about his beliefs, whether, his beliefs, and went on about it and kind of talked to me about it. I think somehow that was one of the things that lit some kind of flame, because when I moved from Chicago area to New York City, my first internship in New York City was at a place called the Interfaith Center for Corporate Responsibility. And so I think really from a young age, I was drawn to some sort of corporate responsibility. I maybe there are other threads, and I think it might be good to figure out more why, but I appreciate the question.
Now, what could we do to help you? What do you need more of at this point?
I would love it if anyone who was listening who is in Hawaii or has a direct connection to Hawaii, meaning they live here, they visited, they have family here, they went to school here. If you have a story that you would like to thank someone for showing you kindness, I would love for you to share that. And I have a link that kind of explains how to do that. It's very simple.
So what's the website that we should send people to?
Route99hawaii.com, all one word.
And that's the ROUTE, the number 99hawaii.com.
Correct.
Well, Charlie, thank you so much for sharing your story today. You're doing important work, and we appreciate you.
Thanks so much, Lee. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
All right, this is Lee Cantor. We'll see y'all next time on Oahu Business Radio.